Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Medieval 2 Total War Definitive Edition. Here today on the channel we have episode 2 of my Holy Roman Empire campaign as Emperor Heinrich. In today's episode we're going to continue with our war against the Milanese and the Venetians. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. I'd really much appreciate it. So, we've been given a mission by the Pope to cease all hostilities with Milan. Unfortunately, Mr. Popey, we're going to reject that. We've already crushed their main full stack in the last episode with the Emperor's son-in-law, Otto von Kessel. And now we've got Milanese on the ropes. We've got Milan on the ropes. So we're going to be besieging the faction capital of the world. And as you would expect, we've now been excommunicadoed. I will be sending Max Mandorf here to Genoa to siege things out. Alright, so we should have siege equipment soon. Construction-wise, I'm going to try and mobilize all our military assets in and around Milan as well. As we took Venice in the last episode, our first major piece of territory against a major faction. The rest was against rebels. We are technically still at war with Milan as well, and we want to try and bring some military forces down from Bern. Von Saxony is currently besieging Bruges. We will have to keep an eye on the Milan army in Dijon, because they took that rebel territory. But we're in a really good position in the campaign. We've gobbled up a bunch of Germanic territory from the rebels, and now we're starting to target and occupy settlements that are occupied by real factions. Alright, back down in Croatia, we have the Eastern Front opening up here. So we're currently fighting on two fronts, the Italian theatre, now the Croatian theatre. Leopold, the second son of the Emperor, is just going to quickly run down some Venetians here. As we move you further back down as well, we will have the siege of Ragusa, which I didn't realise this. We're going to have to play this one because that's a huge army inside. Oh my god, the air and a bunch of forces. Oh my god. Okay, this is going to be a hell of a battle. We're going to have to fight this one firstly. I didn't realise Ragusa in this is modern day Dubrovnik in Croatia. I was kind of blown away by that fact. I was like, oh, I knew it was sort of in the area, but they actually changed their name, which is kind of cool. So, technically, we're having the battle and siege of King's Landing first up in today's video. So, once we take this settlement, they shouldn't have any settlements on the European mainland, Venice, because they're probably going to be holding out in Rhodes or Crete, potentially, unless they manage to take some Greek territory off the Byzantines, which is always a possibility.
Our foes are ungodly beasts, and so we are but the swords in the hands of the hosts of heaven. We do God's glorious work, and if we fall, we do so in his cause. If we triumph, we do so because he has willed an imperial victory. Now bow your heads, then let's to the appointed task. Our foes don't look much like soldiers, or like a bunch of bankers, in fact. But then the loot from their corpses will be worth all our trouble. This battle means a lot to our enemies. That is why half of all their men stand over there today. So, we shall make them rue the day they came to meet battle-hardened Germans in combat. Our foes have the advantage in cavalry, and we lack spearmen. But if we are steadfast, their advantage will count for little. And now I trust my life to God, for I know our imperial cause is true and just. So pray, you brave fools, and make sure God knows you think the same!
Okay, let's get stuck into the Venetians for a secondary time. Now, unfortunately, this battle map is a little bit tricky. I kind of hate fighting in this castle battle map because it's very narrow here, and you lose a lot of casualties pushing up, and then you've got this huge left-hand side as well. Now, usually they have the high ground. You're currently on the low ground, so you have to push up there as well. It's kind of tricky. I tend to lose more casualties on this particular castle map than any other that I've noticed. But once again, the Emperor is questioning the ability and the fighting spirit of the Venetians, calling them bankers. I don't know what he's got against bankers for whatever reason, but it's the second time we've heard that quote. I'm smirking, it's quite funny. Anyway, we'll form things up. This army build, nothing too crazy, still pretty early on. We do have some Balkan archers accompanying with mercenary crossbowmen. We've also got some mercenary spears as well. They're really what's gonna try and carry the day. We've got some militia here and there. We've also got some Slavic mercenaries to help us out in the siege of Ragusa, or maybe I should just call it Dubrovnik. I accidentally called it Ragusa in the last episode. I was like, why did I call it Ragusa off the top of my head? Oh, that's a quite obscure football position, football manager that I was recently playing a save on. Some of you may or may not know, they do have a secondary channel where I do sort of sports and football content. Technically, you could see Football Manager as a strategy game. I don't think it would work well on this channel, but some of you guys might be interested in that sort of stuff. Because at the end of the day, it is strategy and tactics and how you play the football match, of course. But obviously, this is a war/strategy sort of total war channel. As long as it's got war and history sort of involved, I think that's what you guys like to see mostly. And it's a strategy game to some extent. Now, we're currently trying to push up on the walls here, and yeah, that's also another thing that complicates things. There's very limited pathfinding here on this hill, so you can struggle to, like, we're going up 2 at a time on some portions. This is going to be such a high casualty and heavily protracted siege, I can already tell. My crossbows here are currently firing crossbow bolt support, along with arrow fire as well. We'll move up the battering ram. We might even need to bring up the secondary just to see how it goes. But the Venetians are having their final stand here in Croatia after losing Venice, the crucial trade hub and the maritime port city, in turn 2. Massive gamble which pulled off for us, and has secured so much future finances for us. Now we'll focus against Milan, try and get rid of them. Now, we have been excommunicated, so there is always a chance that... I do actually believe that depending on how belligerent you are, there is a chance that the Pope can call the First Crusade on you. I could be wrong, but I swear that a crusade is being called for the first time that's not on Cairo. Or maybe it's a jihad, I don't know. I could have sworn that I've had crusades called against me pretty early on. Or you can actually request them, can't you? Or factions can request them, depending on their standing. So, unfortunately, probably in this series, now that we've been excommunicated early on, depending, unless we lose the Emperor at some point, we will be not attending the First Crusade because we're not going to be let or able to. Even though I would love to, it just sort of depends. Like, if you're a conquering faction, like I tend to play as in Medieval 2, you do tend to get excommunicated quite a bit. But I believe once the faction leader dies, it resets and you're allowed back in. Alright, I'm going to advance my bowmen here just to help things out, as my infantry are now engaging with the Venetian garrison, and fierce fighting is breaking out in the city streets. Now, they are using flammable ammunition, which is slightly annoying, but that's okay. So, we're going to be focusing our armies on Milan. We currently have 3 full stacks, maybe 3.5 roughly in operation. 2 pushing into northern Italy, and then we've got the other front in Croatia. So I think instead of moving the Emperor back after this siege, I think we'll continue to move into Greece. We might have to go to war with the Byzantines, which doesn't really faze me too much. I really just have the prize and would love to take the ideal location of Constantinople. That would be brilliant. That would really secure Emperor Heinrich's claim to being the Holy Roman Emperor, as it is a little bit of a loose claim. I'm not even going to lie, and I'm sure he knows that. We'll leave the papacy to last, but we need 45 regions. We're better off going west than east, that's the plan. Because there's better quality territories by pop and wealth. And the quicker we can get rid of the major factions and some of the best factions in the game, like your Englands and your France, the quicker the better. Alright, balance of power is swinging into our favour. About 60-70%. The general's pushed up, now he's being pulled back. But that's alright. Our bowmen have used, and crossbows about half. Some have nearly used all their ammunition. We'll try and group everyone up. The infantry have taken an absolute battering. I might have to move in the Emperor, just for morale support, but we'll see how we go. Unfortunately, he's rather chivalrous. I do want to try and switch it over to Dread, which will take some time. It nearly might not even be worth it. But we're being, I don't know, like, sometimes you can get the RNG of your generals lasting quite a bit. And I do believe if you make whatever line you go down, there's more of a chance of your future descendants having Dread. But I believe so as well. It is a legitimate strategy if you kind of want to farm guilds and like Teutonic Knights. If you move a level 5 chivalrous general into a settlement, you can really start farming the chivalry, and I think like if you do that for like 20-25 turns, there's a chance that a Teutonic Order building can spawn and you can get really decent high tier quality knights. So there's even that. Man, there's so much stuff to this game that I'm like remembering. Like there's so much like the depth of this game is crazy. It might not seem it on the surface, but like when you dive into it, it's crazy. Alright, I'm just waiting for my reinforcements to move up here. I want to try and cluster up. What I want to try and do is maybe try and hold this gateway here and then get my bowmen to try and hit that cluster there, because I think charging all my infantry there, as some of them are at 50, 80, they're quite light to a man. I don't want them to completely rout. Now that my bowmen are in range, yeah, they're actually kind of struggling. Look at that. They instantly routed there. Oh no, this could be a problem. Hang on. Oh wow. They really got pushed back. There's a bunch of knights there. I wanted my infantry to hold while my archers try and carry, but they had to come closer into range. Why couldn't they shoot there? Up and over the top. They've all got ammunition. Oh no, they are really carving up through me now. Come on, we need to respond quickly. Oh no. I swung back to about a 50-50. We are really pushing our tier 1 trash to the limit. There's been constant morale breaks and high losses here and there. We are pushing our German army to the absolute limit. Let's drop a morale boost there. Now they're retreating further back. Alright, let's go for a secondary time, please. We go again. Okay, now the bowmen are getting their shots off. Okay, just come back if you can. Yeah, if we can get the spearmen just to hold and then get the bowmen to shoot up and over the top, that'd be brilliant. 61-81. We might have to replenish and repair here in Dubrovnik. Luckily, it's quite a built-up settlement. Like, it's a pretty decent castle. technically it actually might be worth eventually switching it to a city, because it's a port. It's a coastal settlement. Like, it would really benefit economically wise from it, but we kind of need military forces if we are to launch into Greece. Like, you kind of want to pad, like, on the front lines with castles, city, castle, city, castle. And you want to have, like, a sort of defensive parameter. You've got to split it into zones. That's what I like to do. You want your money-making economical hubs, and then your castles as well. But you've also got to be careful as well how you go about that. To be fair, it's not like cities aren't that defensible either. Like, arrow towers are still incredibly effective. Alright, we've run out of ammunition with my bowmen here and crossbowmen. We're just trying to get them stuck in. We're just trading for the last couple here. We will gain victory, but my god. Emperor Heinrich has had to pull out another fantastic victory out of the bag. Oh my god. Dude, that just shows you how tough it is to take settlements when there's full stacks like bedded in. Thankfully, we managed to intercept Milan's main full stack and destroy it on the open field. Because if they were bunkered down in Milan like this, it would have been a different story. This is probably my best army that I've had in the entire world. And we're also playing with the faction leader as well, so that helps things out. But even doing that, we've lost nearly 70% of our army. As they are fighting to the absolute bitter end here in Venice. In the Venice city. Okay. Not too much longer now. We're getting stuck into the peasants that are trying to hold on out. Alright, let's push into the last remnants of the general's bodyguard. And we will want to try and protect Heinrich. Mein Lord, we've lost control of the castle. The castle. Alright, now we're starting to initiate the countdown. Only 2 minutes remaining. What a hell of a fight to start today's episode off. The enemy general has fallen. Another one bites the dust. And hopefully we've claimed a glorious victory for the HRE. Once again. And we're slowly but surely adding to the collapse of the Venetian Maritime Empire. An average victory because we lost a lot. Oh my god, we actually outnumbered them nearly 2-1 and we still lost heaps. Just because they were so bedded in there. We've taken out another important Venetian family figure, their heir, and we're going to be able to instantly recruit more and repair as well in the castle. Phew. We took it, but with high casualties. Right, back over in Milan. Oh, during the intern phase, we've actually been attacked here. Okay, I might have to play this one again. Ottoborn Castle has been attacked. It's quite even, actually. We've got the Milanese Doge looking to come out. They don't want to sit back and allow us to siege, so they're going to stop us from building equipment and try and attack us and surround us on the open field. Alright. Otto von Castle, who did really quite well against the Milanese last time around. He could very well end up being the conqueror of Milan. The Emperor's son-in-law.
Battle is a dangerous thing, and we may go now to glory or to our doom. Now I tell you that it is my duty to make sure that we have victory here, just as it is yours to fight. If God wills it, I will give you glory. Doom can take those other fellows. Those fops from Milan think that they are soldiers. I laugh at such an idea, for they can barely lift a bag of money, let alone a sword. Those men are a quarter of our foe's total strength. Think on that, For when they are dead, the enemy will be massively weaker. Now lift your banners and march away to glory, good Germans, and a bloody day!
Good speech. A lot of information that as well. A dangerous battle, so we've got to be careful. And it's a quarter of the enemy's strength. So I just love that information that you can get in Medieval 2. Because now we know there's not an army or a large full stack lurking up near Dijon or in the fog of war. So we are being attacked here by 2 armies, and we're going to go back to the traditional, the newbie corner camping tactic for this one, because I don't want to get overwhelmed and enveloped. So we desperately need to win this one, and we need to use our cavalry effectively. So what we're going to do is we're going to fall back to the corner, make a front line with our infantry. We'll leave the cavalry out, and they are attacking me at the end of the day, so we want them to hit our spearmen, lock on into the anvil, and then we'll strike around with the cavalry hammer. That's the plan, but we'll see how we go. But Otto von Kassel is making a bit of a name for himself. He might even end up being the sort of the liege lord of this Milan territory. What would it be, a dukedom or something? I don't know. What would be the title he would get? Well, you never know. Because Medieval 2 doesn't tend to go down with patrilineal succession. It's sort of... well, it's actually quite fitting, quite Roman, actually. Whoever's the best candidate for the job gets it. There is a mod called the Heir Crown trait that you can choose your future heirs. But that's probably one of the only criticisms I have about vanilla. I kind of like to roleplay and sort of have a line of succession and follow it, but look, it's actually probably better if you... it's probably actually better for the Holy Roman Empire society. For whoever is the best man for the job should get it. Okay, so this first initial army coming up, we need to sort of harass it as best we can. So we'll leave Otto further back, and we'll send the other general up. We'll switch to a defensive formation, and I also want to try and switch off... yes, that's it, skirmish mode, because it can be quite annoying for them running around. So if we can snipe the first general here, this would be fantastic, because the the Milanese Doge, we've been fighting Venetians a lot in this series. I've got him on the mind. Oh, here we go. We've managed to take him out. We've taken out Rossi of Milan. Now, depending on how many Milanese we can take out here today, we might be able to, if we're successful, cross our fingers and hope, if we can win, we might be able to march on into the city with impunity. But this is what I like to see. The first army looking to engage us in our trenched and dug on in defensive position. And once they're locked with my spearmen, my archers might even soften them up as they approach. We'll swing around with our mounted Holy Roman Empire sergeants and our general's bodyguard as well. And we'll lock them in with the anvil and swing around with the mighty Roman hammer. Alright, let's speed things up and wait for them to lock on in. Reinforcements are coming in, but quite a while away. What the hell's that? Some sort of chariot. Let's drop a buff here. We are taking out a little bit of them. We've managed to take out 4%, only losing one of my own. That's fine. Alright. Hit your marks, men. The more we can take out, the easier it will be for the cavalry and the spearmen to soften them up. And as they're attacking me, they're going to full-on commit, even with losing the commander. You'd think they'd nearly stop the attack. So let's wait for them to lock on in. The right hand side, locked and loaded. Charge through the center. And already some of them are breaking there. Here we go. Massive charge as the Holy Roman Empire cavalry, the brave cavalry, charge on in. And this is what you like to see. They're just being absolutely crushed and surrounded by all sides. And our men are winning the battle. If we can continue like this, victory is ours. Alright, let's speed things up. As they're not even putting up a fight. Most of them are fighting to the death. We want to try and gobble up and run down as many of them as we can. First time's a charm. Let's try and do the rope-a-dope for a second time. One general down, one more to go. And it's the faction leader, no less. Let's just speed things up. So the first army that has attacked us has been crushed. I've got to give it to the Venetians. They have tactically played a lot better defending their homeland. However, man, the men of Milan don't have the best quality general staffs surrounding and advising their military. We caught them on the road, destroying a full stack, and now we're about to destroy another. Okay, it does look like they're sitting back a little bit this time. They might have learnt their lesson, as I'm talking shit about them. They do have the faction leader there. That unit is huge. Look at that. 63. Looks like they are going to charge now as we look to go on their right flank. Now, if you do tend to flank with a unit, go on their sides, they do tend to move, so we might be able to snipe him if we're lucky. A little bit of wishful thinking. Actually, go for the standard here. They were just sitting there like gotta watch out for that, actually. Oh no. Okay, pull out. Withdraw from that. Huh. You'd think a standard bearer would be quite weak, but it's actually, it says light artillery. It's actually a spear unit by the look of it. We were still right to attack them there, because we didn't want them to just sit there and not do anything. We want to try and eliminate all the units. We don't want them to rout or escape. Actually, the less that escape, the worse for us. If we can crush every single unit completely, we will not even need to siege out Milan and just move on in. And once we've secured northern Italy, we're laughing. Some of the best pieces of territory you can get. The thing is as well, the beauty about going westward as well is the close proximity of settlements is key. You can really just snowball and continue on conquering and moving on, pushing on. As well, if you go eastward, like, the settlement per region is quite huge. Oh, but looks like the general now is in a retreat. Oh, he might have gotten away. Unfortunately, the enemy king is fled. Okay. I'm just keeping an eye on their infantry. We might just charge this, you know. We're in such a good position now. 70% in our favour. Let's move up. It's just this army's being a little bit hesitant, isn't it? So maybe we can just charge. Just to speed things up. I don't even know if they would even attack me in that defensive formation. I swing around here. Oh, two fantastic battles here today. With two decent results. Well, more so the results. And, like, tactically good as well. The first one was quite high casualty-wise, if you want to be funny about that. But this second one, perfect. We didn't even need to corner camp in that second bit too much. We had to push on out because we mopped up the first army. Oh wow, heroic victory. Also, we were slightly outnumbered, not by much. The general's bodyguard and the cavalry. Oh my god. 300 kills apiece. Perfect. And we've captured the family member, Rossi. We'll get rid of him. We could ransom for 5.2k, which is quite a bit. However, we're going to be able to move into Milan and get a bit more. Hell yeah. And we can get a Merchants Guild at Venice. A cardinal dies. And yeah, we're still excommunicated. Oh, Heinrich has had a son. Now with getting that new guild, we get access to merchant cavalry militia. How cool is that, man? So hopefully, if we continue to do missions for the guilds and build it up a bit, we should have a really strong guild in Venice. Oh, that's what I love to see, man. Well, anyway, unfortunately it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching episode 2. Stay tuned for episode 3 coming out tomorrow, where we continue our war with Milan. We've still got to take Genoa and Dijon off them, and then we've got to sort of maybe make a play for another faction. We could go further down into Greece, give chase to the Venetians, depending on who has what in Greece. Sometimes the Byzantines can have more territory there, sometimes Venice, so we'll have to see how we go. We could potentially go after Denmark and take Copenhagen. I don't really have any ambition to go into Sweden or Norway, as it's not the most valuable territory. Once we deal with Milan, I guess we just naturally go against the French because they're right on our border. A war with them is inevitable at some point. We could maybe bypass the papacy, maybe go for Sicily to secure more on the Italian peninsula. I don't know. Let me know in the comments where you'd like me to expand and conquer. But yeah, stay tuned for more videos on the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying this series. Definitely down to do more medieval too, so I can't stress this enough. Support it, leave the video a like, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments, and I'll do more. We're still continuing on our main victory conditions to try and hit 45 regions, which is quite a lot, and try and capture Rome, which I think we'll leave to the 45th settlement. We'll try and make it Rome. Because the last thing I want is to do this is Total War challenge and have all of Christendom attack me in one swift move. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. I've got to play the outro now. Goodbye. Unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my social media links in the description below if you want to stay connected with me. I also want to say thank you to this month's patrons and channel members: Victor K, Sebastian C, Jordan K, Caesar L, Brian S, Tao, Lion B, Kyle P, Tom C, and White P. My name has been Simpzy. Much love from Australia. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.